Hey everyone, Alex Colasar here with Century 21, and with us today I got Jim and Jennie. They are originally local residents of California that made the transition here to Northeast Ohio, and today I wanted to bring them on to basically talk about their experiences about moving cross country and also what it's like to now, live here in Northeast Ohio. So first and foremost, guys, thank you so much for doing this. And for a little background, can you just talk about, where you lived in California before, why you ended up moving here to Ohio in the first place, and just kind of your journey.
Okay, so I grew up in Central California, right around San Luis Obispo area, and then when I went to grad school, I moved down south to Southern California, and that's where I met Jim.
Okay.
And so I grew up in Southern California, pretty much lived there my whole life. We got married, moved to Chino Hills, where we were renting a home, good school district, everything was going good. And then, we realized that I don't see homeownership being a reality in California. And, luckily my company has a couple different branches around the United States. And we kind of looked at Ohio because the area was nice and affordable. Looked good about the city, the schools. So we kind of just put in the request for a transfer, and it took longer than it normally does, just with the the pandemic and everything. So got that approved and made our way out.
Good deal. And you said homeownership really wasn't you didn't really see it happening in California. Is that because of the prices out there? Or?
Prices, yeah. I mean, back when we first started, looking for condos in the 300 range, and realized, we were planning on 2 children, and condo wasn't going to be the way to go. So we got, luckily, we got a house that held us for 6 years. And then once we started looking again, it was like, do we put all our money into a house, or do we, look elsewhere? And that's what we chose to do.
Nice. And were you guys super excited about the transition, super nervous? I mean, what were your kind of initial impressions about, moving here to Ohio, before? I'm sure you did a lot of research online and whatnot.
Yeah, so we never have been to Ohio before this.
Yeah.
We have family all over the United States, but Ohio was not one of the states that we had visited. So we started videos and, looking up online, trying to figure out what areas around his work had good school districts. And when he first brought the idea of Ohio, I'm like, I don't know if I can do the snow.
Yeah.
So so I did. I started looking. We actually found some of your videos, which really helped because you had the areas we were looking for and able to see those videos and kind of zero in on, the 3 different areas we were really looking at. But we were excited because it's something new, it's something different.
Yeah.
My family, we moved around a lot. So for me, it was just like one next adventure to go on, but it's beautiful. So we were excited, a little nervous because we were like, what if we get there and it's not what we saw?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot. I mean, so I was in the military and I moved around all the time, and it's, you don't really have much besides what other people who were already, maybe at the base for me specifically would tell me some stories, but you're going in just kind of blind. And it's definitely nerve-wracking for sure.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you've been here for about 3 months now. The biggest thing that people always say with Ohio, again, weather. How has the weather been here? You moved here in September timeframe, and now we're doing this in December. So you really haven't got the worst of the weather. We'll probably do this after February, and you might change your mind. But how's the weather been so far?
I mean, so far it's been great. We moved here, like you said, in September. It was pretty warm, actually, comfortable.
Yeah.
We got to see all the green trees, which are just gorgeous. There's trees everywhere. The transition into the fall colors got a little cooler. And then, the last month and a half, it's been cold for us California people.
Yeah.
I think that at night we were lucky to hit 30s as the low. So now 30 is your high, but it's not that bad. We got some good jackets. We got some, the kids are loving it. They got snow. We got snow 2 times.
Yeah, we got a good
And they were
couple
out
inches
there
of snow, and they were out there building snowmen and
trying to slip.
our little hill.
Was that their first time seeing snow?
Second.
Second, yeah.
Time? Okay.
Yeah, before we moved out, we got snow when we took our Grand Canyon trip in February. So that was their first adventure of snow. And then we're like, hey, this isn't so bad.
Yeah.
But that was, you know, all our neighbors keep telling us it's like Game of Thrones, winter's coming, just be ready.
Yeah,
it's gonna be.
Yeah, weather is definitely the talk of the town here when it's a nice day or a cold day.
Yeah, it'll be fun.
Yeah, but it really isn't that bad. I mean, for the most part, I mean, obviously if you work outside, the conditions be a little bad, but for the most part, if you just commute to your job or the grocery store, again, if you have a warm jacket on, you're in and out like pretty quick from the car. So it's not too bad.
Weighing the weather compared to everything else that's great so far that we've enjoyed, I'll take the weather compared to how nice everybody is, how green it is, how accommodating people are. Just it's weird. Like the customer service feels different out here.
Really, in California?
Yeah, people are just nice. Like you go to a drive-thru and people are like so kind. And our experience was at you're a BMV, but in California it's the DMV. And there you can be there for hours and people are rude and they don't want to take the time. And there we walk in and they're just like, hi, welcome. What can we help you with? We're just like, and there was like 5 other people inside. We were in and out in an hour without an appointment. Wow, like this is our first taste of Ohio living. We like it.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. Yeah, and I don't know if it's because of the population or sometimes California has this stigmatism of like kind of being stuck up sometimes, you know, generally speaking as the entire state. So I never really paid attention too much as far as like the people because I guess we're so used to it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk about, we already kind of touched on it, kind of the cost of living. You know, you guys have a really nice home and a really great price point, in my opinion. Besides, you know, the house searching and stuff, which we'll touch on as well. But how is the grocery shopping, the gas? I mean, kind of everything regarding cost of living is a lot cheaper here?
Well, I can talk to when we registered our vehicles. Basically, truck in California, my last registration was around $550.
Okay.
SUV was about $250, and when we got here, the SUV was I think $100 for the year, and that's because I guess they do it by your birthday. Where in California, it was just a day.
We paid for this year and next year, so I mean it's just crazy because
the truck was what I think.
So much.
Truck was maybe 100 and some 180, maybe 200. So when we went to do the car insurance, I think it was close to 300 for every 6 months. And California, it was about 900 every 6 months.
Oh, wow.
And that's with a clean
car insurance.
Insurance, registration, that kind of stuff was huge. And then obviously gas. I know right now everyone's gas is high, but you know, us out here, this is cheap for us.
Yeah.
So, I mean, even though it's higher for you guys at this moment, you know, that still is cheaper for us. And then even more what California is paying right now. And he's not having to do the far commute. So he's spending a lot less in gas just because of that.
Yeah. Yeah, no, when I was just in California last month, it was Northern Cali near like Bodega Bay area. And gas at one location was like $5.98. And, you know, coming back here, I'm like, you know, paying $3.50 or whatever isn't too bad. Like,
we'll take it. But yes, I think those are like the main things. Probably going out to eat, groceries. That's probably all about the same, but you know, you're saving on all those other things. I mean, it's nice we don't have to have sprinklers here, so our water bill's a little bit less.
Yeah, like it's probably much greener, isn't it here?
Yeah, so that was also a bonus.
Very cool. Have you guys done any exploring, like I know you kind of got here toward the fall time frame in the winter, but have you done any exploring like in the Cow Valley National Park or done any sightseeing or any trails or anything like that?
Yeah, we actually did take a camping trip down to the Akron KOA. We got a trip in before, you know, we knew it was going to get colder. Taking the kids and the dog on a couple hikes in the, I think it was the caves of.
We went to the Liberty Park that's right here in Twinsburg, which is seriously from our house, and it had those cool rock formations and caves. And and I think we went into the national park or right around there, and we went on a small little hike there where they had some other like ledges. Is it called the ledges? I think that's what it's called. So we have gone to some really cool scenery. I think that when it gets warmer, we're excited to really start exploring. Because like you said, we did get here right before it got a little too cold to do a lot of that stuff. Yeah. But we did try to get a couple quick little day trip things in, and
good.
A lot more to explore once it gets warm.
Neighbors have already invited us out to the lake and on their boats.
Oh, wow, okay.
That's nice to be friends with the neighbors right away.
Yeah, I mean, you guys are in a good community. I mean, right away, the neighbors had like 5 kids hop off the bus, and they were like, "Hey!" And then
definitely family vibe in the neighborhood that we chose.
Yeah, and so far, we're happy with the schools. It's just they had a cute little parade down to the square. Lit the square up for Christmas. So just all that stuff just really feels like, it's a nice little community, and that's what we were looking for.
Yeah. And you guys are right in Twinsburg, which in my opinion is such a hot location. It's right between Akron and Cleveland. So, I mean, everything is within literally like probably 30 minutes away, if that.
Yeah.
So it's super convenient, which is nice. And how's the traffic in compared to California here?
We don't really do much of the freeway stuff, but when we have, we
haven't really hit traffic. I think we hit traffic one time, and it was an accident.
Yeah.
We're like, mostly it's around side streets, and you're not going to hit traffic on the side streets. So it's nice to think, we can go over there, and we're not going to have to worry what time of day is it. Is it going to be a pain to go because of the the freeways? So that part is
you got to take that into a lot of consideration, especially out in California. I mean,
your house, you have to leave so much earlier because you're like, what if there's traffic? You don't know, or like, how long is it going to take us? Is the traffic slower or faster? So I think we got somewhere the other day like super early, and we're like, okay, so I guess you don't need to account for traffic here. Like it says 20 minutes.
Yeah, literally maybe by a couple minutes. Again, if there's like construction going on, or if there's an accident, but other than that, like actual like traffic around rush hour really isn't that bad.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Yeah, maybe leaving or going towards Cleveland on 77 or something like that, or 480. Sometimes you can get a little bit of traffic, but like you said, it's really not that bad.
No problem.
Yeah, the one thing to get used to is the 35-mile-an-hour speed limit everywhere.
Yeah, is that not normal?
Well, usually the side streets in California is about 45.
Okay. So we still go 45 here, but
I feel slow, and we're just like kind of cruising around, but it's
fun. Even like 25-mile-per-hour zones. I'm like, oh my gosh, there's tons of them. There's so many residential neighborhoods here and like side streets where you don't even need to take the highway.
And I think that's what's a little different from California is I noticed here all the side streets they're residential streets. Are just houses along all of these little side streets, whereas in California, I feel like you get off those main roads into the neighborhoods. Where I feel like you're just in the neighborhood, which is kind of nice.
Yeah, I completely agree. Like when I lived in Texas, it's like I feel like I never saw. I lived in San Antonio. I never saw any residential neighborhoods. It was like all highways and huge streets, and I lived in apartments like downtown, and I was like, I don't even know. Do people own houses here? Like they were just such on the outskirts. All right. Last but not least, let's talk about kind of your house search on coming here. What was your first impressions kind of seeing the houses online? Were they older? Did you think the prices were cheaper? Kind of property taxes. I guess what was your impression of the homes here?
Well, I think that's what kind of sold me when like I mentioned, when he first said, "What about Ohio?" And I'm like. And then I looked up the houses, and I'm like, oh, we could afford this really, good size house. They're all the cute colonial style, which is just, you don't see that in California as much. It's all stucco.
Gotcha.
And so then I started thinking like, wow, like that's a lot of square footage. Most houses do have the basement, which gives you just that much more space. And
we don't have basements in Cali, right?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah.
So that was something that was fun. And, we were lucky enough to get a finished basement. Also the lots are bigger. It was like, oh, wow, we could actually have we had an okay backyard, but not near the size we got now. And
you ended up getting a fenced in backyard, which is nice, but you said that's super common in California where you're from, or here
every house has a fence, and that was the one thing with the, we got a brand new puppy. Definitely needed a fence. Some people
tons of energy.
Especially a box. But a couple of a lot of places that don't have fences and puppies, they use like the electrical fence,
the invisible fence.
So that is an option, but I kind of just wanted the peace of mind of knowing that we could let the dog in the backyard and
just open the sliding door and let him do the thing back there.
But yeah, so that's what really sold us, is you could get a nice big, I mean, yes, there are, I wouldn't say old houses as in gross old houses, but there are more, I almost would think of them as like established like historical areas where is kind of the first houses, and then you can go all the way up to the new houses. So you really could find any, age of house that you're looking for. But we saw a good range, I thought. I mean, some did feel older, but like we got lucky enough. This one is all updated, so
yeah,
that's good.
Nice. Yeah, that's the issue. Is a lot of the houses here, we don't have a ton of new construction because we develop so quick, and a lot of the homes are between like even from the 30s to like the 70s. It seems like a lot of these lands were already kind of built out in a lot of cities, so there's not a ton of new construction. And that's why I wanted to ask, because it's funny, a lot of people that are looking online and whatnot, they're like, like the houses are cheap, but they just seem really old or outdated in that aspect. But it really just depends on what city you're going to end up looking in.
Yeah, at least with the price that you're getting it at, you can put in that money if you want to upgrade the windows or upgrade the kitchen. So there's for improvement, but it's also some of the older houses do have the larger lot sizes. Some of the it's not so much. You drive by the newer houses getting built, and their yards just aren't very big. So you kind of have to.
Yeah, land value went up. I mean, they're just like, all right, how many homes can we fit on this piece of land now?
Kind of sad, That's what we like when you drive around. It's like, look at all these big properties. So.
Yeah, I mean, half an acre is pretty typical kind of in that area, so to say.
Yeah.
Twinsburg, Hudson, kind of right in the middle, yeah.
Which is perfect.
Yeah. It's easy to maintain too, especially for mowing the lawn and whatnot.
Yeah.
It's not too bad. But that's really kind of all the questions I had. Is there anything else you guys want to add about your transition, or what you liked or didn't like, or anything like that might be helpful for other people maybe moving here?
No, I mean, we used UPAC. It was because that was the one thing, is I couldn't get a real good gauge. So if you're looking
like a pod as well?
It's like a
okay.
We had a good experience.
We had a good experience. It was a little under 6,000 for 3 pods. We ordered 4, and we didn't end up needing it. So you always want to order 4. It was an easy process. It took a little bit longer than normal, but that's just, I think, coming from California.
Yeah.
Anywhere, California is kind of having. So we suggest like a UPAC type thing. It's going to probably be about 6,000. We've seen some horror stories that we've been seeing people talking about on social media. Use a reputable packing company that is going to move you, because some people
stop with your stuff.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
And then we drove across country. If you have the ability to do that, there's a lot of cool places to see along the way, depending which route you went. We actually stayed at all KOAs on our way here, just with the puppy. It was easier than trying to do a hotel. So that's one route. We didn't even think about that till the last second. So that's one thing somebody making the move can think of if flying's not their option.
Gotcha. For anyone that doesn't understand, what is a KOA?
It's not state ran. It's a private company.
Yeah, private.
It's a privately ran campground.
Cabins. So we stayed in the little cabins throughout, on our way out. So that's just easy for us.
Yeah, it's like
that's nice. It's like it's like glamping, so to say. Yeah, it's like that's nice.
Your head, but yeah. So that was great. And then also, I think you helped us out a lot because. You were our eyes, you were honest. It helped to have somebody who is good with Zoom, and, because you helped us see everything and you were honest. So I think finding a good realtor is definitely the number one thing.
I mean, it's important. I mean, you literally bought a house remotely through FaceTime, never even stepped into the house until you bought it. And, I take that pretty heavily, I guess, because if I were in that situation, you know, I was someone to be honest, does the carpet smell like dog? What updates need to be done? Is this a good neighborhood? How are the neighbors? I mean, there's so much that goes into it. And last thing I want you to do is move in and be like, what the hell did he make us buy? You know, like.
You did a really good job with that.
Our family thought my parents thought we were insane for not even going out and seeing it. But I told him, we found Alex. We trust him. He knows. You were straight with us on some of these floors are really damaged. It's got a musty, and that right then we knew, okay, we found the right person. He's honest. And when we finally do find the house and get into the house, we know we're going to be happy with that decision. And we absolutely were when we showed up here.
Good. Well, I appreciate that. Yeah, absolutely. If
you can make it out, you know, if you can fly out and check out the areas, like that would be optimal. We just didn't really have the time with COVID. That was a whole other situation. We have kids, so that's a whole thing. Like, who's going to take the kids so we can get out there? How can he get off work? So it was really for us to make that work. So we thought, let's give it a shot and see, but without going out there. So, I mean, if you can make it out and check out the areas, because it is different from California. You know, being out here, it does feel different. Not in a bad way or a good way. It's something that once you see it, you're like, okay, this makes a little bit more sense. But I mean, you did a really great job showing us the neighborhoods, showing us, you know, everything that surrounded the houses and pointing us in the right direction. So thank you.
Well, I appreciate that. And yeah, for anyone like kind of looking to move out here, a lot of times what we see is people come here, you know, a couple months before, like if they move in June, they'll come out here maybe March time frame, get a feel of the neighborhoods. Drive around. They usually rent a car. They'll be here for a couple of days, and then afterwards, a lot of times we'll end up, you know, maybe doing Zoom, you know, kind of meetings through looking at houses and whatnot, because the areas are going to be the biggest. You know, the house itself. You know, again, obviously I want to show the neighbors and whatnot, but knowing the areas is really, really important. Just the feel, like you said, it's like buying a house. It's an emotional feeling kind of sometimes. So,
and what you're looking for in your community. So
exactly. Well, good deal, guys. That's all I have. I really appreciate this, and I hope, you know, you're going to help a lot of people maybe with, you know, maybe they are pretty nervous about moving here, and, you know, it is 100% possible buying a house remotely. Again, you just got to have a good team on your side, and obviously, logistically, just plan ahead.
Yep. I encourage it. I say come. Everyone we talk to loves it out here, and so far we do too. So good. I say make the move.
It's a good decision.
Yeah.
Well, good deal, guys. I appreciate you kind of hopping on here, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Alex. Have a good one.